From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight.
Welcome to another edition of BBN Tonight. I'm Eli Gehn in for Keith Farmer this evening.
And I'm Mary Jo Perino. A jam-packed show tonight, Eli, and that's all capped off by the shocking resignation of Matthew Mitchell.
Yeah, and then later, of course, we're going to talk to Kentucky's defensive coordinator, Brad White. He talks about the passing of John Schlarman, and we're also going to update you on UK versus Vandy because there is, as of now, a game going on Saturday. We're also going to talk about men's basketball pro day. So, well, it's been just under 24 hours since Matthew Mitchell shocked the Big Blue Nation with his retirement announcement. That begins tonight's Big Blue story presented by Baptist Health. The UK women's basketball coach said, yes, he is aware that this is bad timing. The season starts in just less than 2 weeks, but Mitchell also says he didn't feel like he could put the amount of time and energy and that's needed to run this program right away. He suffered a head injury while falling on a vacation with his family, which led to off-season brain surgery. And of course, Mitchell is the winningest coach in women's basketball history. He has over 300 wins. His departure leaves associate head coach Kyra Elzy in charge this time now, but for the interim head coach position as of this moment.
Yeah, she likely could be a long-term solution here. I think she'd be a great choice, but she inherits a team that's maybe the best of Matthew Mitchell's entire career. They're going to be ranked 11th in the AP poll, and they have the best player in the country in Ryan Howard.
November 12th, it will be a day that I will never forget. It was bittersweet in so many ways. I always dreamed of taking over for Coach Mitchell as he rode off into the sunset. I never quite imagined it like this. That's the funny thing about life. It never goes quite like planned. To Coach Mitchell, my mentor, my friend, my brother, thank you. You gave 25 years of your life to the game of basketball. I have watched you literally pour yourself into Kentucky women's basketball. You have empowered so many women to greatness. This season is for you, Coach.
All right, let's bring in Christi Thomas of the UK Sports Network. She covered this team forever. She's covered Matthew Mitchell, hosted his coaching show, all of that. Christi, just your thoughts on the big news that happened last night.
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's one of those things that really hits me close to home because I've really never known women's basketball at Kentucky without Matthew Mitchell. So there is a lot of emotion going on for me as far as this is concerned. But he's the guy that really put this on the map. He put this program exactly where they want to be, which is in the hunt in the SEC and in the hunt on a national stage. He was able to do it with a real charismatic recruiting. And so there's, this really sense from Matthew Mitchell that you're the most important person in the room every time you talk to him. So there is no question that he was the right person for the job at the right time at Kentucky. And I certainly respect his thoughts about what he wants to do and really looking at the next chapter of his life. He wants to be all in on this thing. And if he can't be, then he certainly understands that this just wasn't going to be the right move for him or his family at this time. He has 2 young children, a wife. So, he really wants to look at what is the next phase of his career and his life, and I think that he certainly has earned the right to be able to do that. So we certainly wish him well. But yeah, you all have talked about it. Kyra Elzy, now that interim head coaching position, they have a long history together, and their philosophies really line up. So she can really take this, be a seamless transition. This is exactly who the team has been dealing with all summer in their preseason and summer workouts. So they know Kyra Elzy, but listen, make no mistake about it, she's ready.
It has not totally hit me yet, but I do realize that I am taking over a top team in the country, and I'm just going to use it as positivity. Not every head coach gets to walk in to a team that has been successful, and I have been receiving a lot of text messages and phone calls from mentors and friends and colleagues that are giving me advice, and the best advice that I have received thus far: if all else fails, put the ball in Ryan Howard's hands and let her do what she does best. So to be able to coach a player like Ryan and the talent that we have on this team, I do understand a lot is at stake, and I am ready for this moment. Been there as a player, now as a coach, and now we're about to put it in action.
Yeah, and we also have schedules now. Ryan Howard, the best player in the country, and here's who she's going to be matching up with. Let's take a look at the non-conference schedule. Here's a list of Kentucky's games. Murray State and Belmont will head things off. Then you can see the rest of the schedule there. And as we look at the SEC schedule, the thing that stands out to me, guys, 2 matchups with South Carolina. They are the #1 team in the country. They are the team that this team has to beat to get to where it wants to go this year.
Well, that's one of those deals where Kentucky kind of draws the short straw as far as that goes, because that's their permanent opponent in the SEC. So there's always going to be a home and home with South Carolina, but for them to be the #1 team in the country certainly makes that tough. But listen, Kentucky's playing 8 games against teams that are ranked or receiving votes in the top 25. So even though this is a shortened and condensed schedule than what we have normally seen, this is going to be a tough road, much like the football program. When we talk about how tough it is to play in the SEC, women's basketball is no different. They have more teams ranked in the top 25 than any other conference in the country. So this is going to be quite a road for them as they get going. And they open it up December 31st with Arkansas, who has cracked into not only the top 25, but they're the 14th ranked team in the country right now.
Yeah, not an easy schedule. But as we've mentioned, Matthew Mitchell has put a roster together that can probably compete with some of those top-tier teams in the women's college basketball world. All right, coming up next on BBN Tonight, we're going to turn to UK football.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Brad White is going to talk about the passing of John Schlarman. That's when we come back.